You are 26 years old, standing on a set that cost more to build than most people's houses, cameras circling you from every angle, and a subscriber count that just crossed 400 million people. But none of this explains how you got here. To understand that, you have to go back to where almost nobody was watching. Level 1. The boy who studied the machine. You don't remember the first house you lived in. By the time you're 7, you've already packed your things and started over 3 different times. Your family keeps moving from city to city, chasing a more stable life that never seems to last. Then your parents separate. From that point on, it's mostly your mother doing everything she can to keep you. Your brother and the lights on. Home finally settles in Greenville, North Carolina, but money never really does. At 8 years old, other kids are playing video games to relax, but you're playing them to understand them, pulling apart in your head why one level feels satisfying and another doesn't feel as satisfying. Treating a screen full of pixels like a machine you're determined to reverse engineer. By 10, you're running a small candy business out of your backpack at school, calculating profit in your head before you even know the word for it, reinvesting whatever you make back into even more candy, instead of spending it on fun activities like other kids. Because some part of you already understands that money sitting still is money that is wasted. None of this makes you wealthier, but rather makes you the strange kid who thinks in numbers and systems, while everyone else just wants recess to start. Your teachers notice something in you too, a sharpness that shows up in schoolwork without you even trying to put effort into it. But school has never been the thing that actually holds your attention. While your classmates are memorizing dates for a test, you're drawing characters, building little stories, and losing hours inside games and forums most adults in your life don't understand. And don't try to toe them. It just looks like a kid who spends too much time on a computer and is just wasting his life and potential away. Level 2. 5 years nobody watched. All those hours studying games and stories leave you wanting to build something of your own. At 13, you open a YouTube channel called MrBeast 6000, uploading gaming commentary and videos guessing how much money other YouTubers are worth. Filmed in the same bedroom you grew up in, with no plan beyond the simple hope that anyone might watch. Almost no one does. Your subscriber count creeps upward 1 or 2 people at a time, while you spend hour after hour studying why certain videos succeed and others vanish, treating other creators' channels the same way you once treated video games, as puzzles, and you try to decode every single algorithm of every single YouTuber, just to find the secret formula behind viewership. Your bank account reflects exactly how invisible you are, close to nothing, because a channel with a few hundred viewers barely earns enough in ad revenue to buy lunch, let alone build a life on, but you keep trying. By 2015 and 2016, after 4 straight years of uploading into silence, a series where you mock other YouTubers' bad video intros finally gets you close to 30,000 subscribers. The first real sign that someone out there is paying attention. It still isn't a living. At school, people notice your obsession, but not in a way that flatters you. Telling you plainly that all you ever talk about is YouTube and how annoying it can be at times. They say that you're too obsessed, that you need to get a life instead of chasing something that will never go anywhere. Some nights, alone with a subscriber count that took 4 years to build and still wouldn't cover rent, you wonder if they might actually be right. But you keep uploading anyway, because quitting has never once felt like a real option, and your mind is willing to consider, even when every number on the screen says you should. You start treating the platform itself like a subject in school nobody else is bothering to study, tracking which thumbnails get clicked on, which titles get skipped past, which 10 seconds at the start of a video make a stranger decide to stay or leave. To everyone around you, it looks like wasted time attached to a hobby that pays nothing. To you, it feels like the only class that has ever actually mattered, one where you enjoy investing your time into, and you're already years ahead of anyone who might eventually try to walk down the same path as you. Level 3. The night the door closed behind you. You graduate high school in 2016 and do what your family expects of you, enrolling at East Carolina University, because that's the path your mother sacrificed years of her life to give you. 2 weeks in, sitting in a lecture hall, you already know the truth, that every hour spent taking notes for a degree you don't want is an hour stolen from the only thing that has ever felt like yours. So you drop out, and your mother, who has spent years working herself exhausted just to build you a stable life, is devastated in a way that goes beyond disappointment. She asks you to leave the house. At such a young age, the risk is huge, whether to stay with the only parent whose presence actually mattered, or to leave that parent for the YouTube channel you struggled for years. You make the difficult choice to pursue YouTube. At 18 years old, no degree, no job, and a YouTube channel that after 4 straight years still hasn't earned you a single dollar you could actually live on, you have officially hit the lowest point of your life that everyone around you predicted. You spend your days editing videos in your car in parking lots, wherever you can find a plug and a quiet corner. because you no longer have a bedroom to disappear into. Your net worth, if anyone had bothered to calculate it, would land at exactly zero. But something inside you has already decided this isn't the end of the journey, just the part right before the door finally opens. Level 4. The video that changed everything. In 2017, you do something that makes absolutely no sense to anyone watching. Sitting in front of a camera and counting out loud. 1, 2, 3. Refusing to stop for over 40 consecutive hours until you reach 100,000. There's no trick, no editing shortcut, just you, sleepless and stubborn, proving a theory you've quietly believed for years, that people don't fall in love with talent, they fall in love with commitment taken to an extreme nobody else is willing to take a shot at. The video becomes a turning point for your channel, pulling your channel past 1 million subscribers by the end of the year, and doubling again not long after. For the first time since you started this channel 5 years earlier, actual money starts landing in your account. Modest at first, a few $1,000s here, then a few thousand more, but real. Tangible proof that the years of silence were building towards something. You don't celebrate for long because you know the potential of the success you could achieve. You immediately start asking yourself why this worked, and how you can make the next one even bigger. Because you've learned by now that one viral video means nothing if you can't repeat it on command. So you go back to studying, the same way you studied video games at 8, and other creators at 13. Except now you have actual proof of your own breakthrough. Watch time graphs and audience retention charts that tell you exactly where a stranger clicked away. You start treating every video like an experiment with a hypothesis attached to it, and for the first time in your life. The results come back fast enough and big enough for you to actually see the pattern working in real time. Level 5. Turning attention into an empire. Over the next few years, you take the lesson from that counting video and multiply it, reinvesting every dollar you earn straight back into bigger and stranger stunts, giving away cars, houses, and life, changing sums of cash to strangers who need it most, feeding entire towns, funding a tree planting campaign that eventually raises over $70 million from your audience alone. Your subscriber count climbs past 10 million, then 50 million, then far beyond that, and your annual earnings climb with it, reportedly crossing into the $20 to $24 million range by 2020, once you factor in advertising revenue, sponsorships, and the launch of your own venture, MrBeast Burger, which pulls in millions of dollars in sales in its very first year alone. You are no longer the kid nobody believed in. You're the reason strangers cry on camera when a stack of cash lands in their hands, the reason towns get rebuilt and invested in many projects such as Team Trees, building wells and infrastructure in third-world countries like Africa. The channel you built isn't just pouring money into your pockets, but rather saving lives of generations to come. You launch your own chocolate brand called Feastables. Bearing your name, the brand starts pulling in serious revenue of its own. Every video costs more to make than the last, sometimes millions of dollars for a single upload, but the audience keeps growing faster than the spending, and for the first time in your life, the math finally works entirely in your favor. Individual productions eventually cost you $3 or $4 million a piece to build, with the biggest projects running even higher, and more than once you scrap an entire finished video after spending that much, because it doesn't meet the standard you've set for yourself. Most companies would call that reckless. To you, it's the same principle from the candy business at 10 years old. Just with 9 extra zeros attached. Spend what it takes, sell it to more people than anyone else bothered to reach, and let the volume make up the difference every single time. Level 6. The boy who became the algorithm. Today, your main channel isn't just successful. It's the single most subscribed channel in the history of YouTube, watched by hundreds of millions of people across dozens of countries, dubbed into languages you don't even speak yourself. Your Spanish channel alone, crossing 24 million subscribers within its first year. You've told interviewers you personally earn somewhere between $600 and $700 million a year, once every business you own gets counted. Though public estimates vary wildly, because so much of what you've built exists as ownership in companies, rather than cash sitting in a bank, depending on which source you believe. Your net worth today sits somewhere between $1 billion and $2.6 billion, a number that would have sounded like fiction to the 13-year-old, uploading to 27 strangers. None of this happened overnight, no matter how the highlight reel makes it look. It happened across 5 years nobody was watching. One mother who asked you to leave, one night with nowhere to sleep, and one impossibly stubborn decision, made over and over again, to keep uploading anyway. You've since launched a game show that streams to millions of households worldwide, expanded your snack and restaurant brands into countries you never visited as a kid, and turned giving away money into an entire industry other creators now try to copy without ever matching. By almost every measure that matters online, no longer just a YouTuber. You are the head of a business empire that happens to run through a camera lens, built by a boy who once got told to get a life for caring about it too much. You never set out to become the most watched person on the internet. You set out to prove that obsession, pointed in the right direction for long enough, eventually turns into something the whole world can't look away from. So, here's my question for you. What's the thing you're obsessing over right now that everyone around you thinks is a waste of time? Let me know in the comments, and for more life-changing stories, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon below. And if you enjoyed living this journey of building an empire from nothing, there's another billionaire's rise waiting to be told.